The first 6 months of a baby's life brings that first grasp, that first smile, that first laugh. For the first 6 months, don't give water. Breast milk has everything baby needs to grow strong and sharp. For the first 6 months, give baby only breast milk. No water. Start strong for a better future.
This message is from the Lagos State Government with support from Alive and Thrive and other partners.
Welcome back to this segment of the show. Of course, this is the Open Ask segment, and this is where we get interactive with all of you, as you can be part of the conversation. It is highly interactive. Your phone calls and your messages, WhatsApp and SMS, that is, are always welcomed on this segment of the show. Today, we will be looking at breastfeeding. The start of any matter is equally as important as the end of it, to give you this desired success that you'd like. So if you wanted success, if you wanted the goal achieved, then you probably have to start strong. You have to start right, and then in the process of starting strong and starting right, then you could thrive and not get swallowed up, so you can get your desired results. Now, this can also be attributed to breastfeeding. Every woman, everyone who knows, over the years in Nigeria, there's been clamored for that mothers, especially new mothers who just had babies, should endeavor to breastfeed their children, at least exclusively for the first 6 months. The benefits are enormous. It's been highlighted and has been proven over the years. Today, we are creating that awareness yet again and sensitizing you, the viewers, and everyone in Nigeria as to how we can start strong, alive, and thrive. To help us with this conversation is Mrs. Taiwo Fadairo. She is the Assistant State Nutrition Officer of the Lagos State Ministry of Health. Let's join Mrs. Fadairo. Let's join us as we welcome Mrs. Fadairo to the show. Welcome, Mrs. Fadairo.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. I mean, we've heard about breastfeeding over the years. I mean, you've read, we just saw one now that came on the promo talking about showing us how it should be done, where it should be done, and when it can be done. Let's just start afresh from the very beginning. Why the clamor, yet again, for breastfeeding?
As we all know, breastfeeding, it's something, a process that has existed for a very long time, from ages. In fact, it is the best feeding for a child. It's the best breast. I mean, the breast is the best feeding process for a child, for that child to grow healthy and strong and fulfill all what is expected of that child as per health, development, and all that. It's something that has existed over the past. It is still continuous, and it will continue to be. And you know, from all that has been happening, we discover people just have to go back to the roots, into breastfeeding. At the time, a lot of women were going into breast milk substitute and all that. But from studies and all that, it has been discovered now that breast milk still remains the best.
Okay, if it is the best, what exactly does it mean to start strong? You know, when we talk about the first 1,000 days. So starting strong, is it for the woman, the mother, or the child?
Oh, thank you very much. Starting strong, it's a whole encompassing process. It starts from the mother. When the mother conceives, immediately she notices that she conceives.
So that's when the counting begins?
That's when the counting begins. So start strong, start from the mother. That has to do with her feeding pattern, what she eats. She needs carbohydrates for energy. She needs proteins for bodybuilding, even the internal and the external features. She needs fat and oil. She needs minerals and vitamins to help her fight diseases and make the baby strong. So it starts from the mother, from conception. Then it's now, the next step is when the child is born. I mean, before the child is born, it's takes into cognizance antenatal visits. She has to go to the clinic regularly, you know, fulfill everything that is needed. Then the main one now starts when she delivers. That's early initiation of breastfeeding, where breastfeeding is supposed to commence immediately within 1 hour of delivery of a child, so that the child can benefit from the first yellowish milk that comes out, called colostrum. That is the first vaccine that child takes. It will build the child's immunity against diseases, infections, and all that. Then it also take into cognizance exclusive breastfeeding. That's for the first 6 months of life, without water, without any herbal concussion, without water, without anything. Exclusively, that child must be breastfed for the first 6 months of life. Then the last lap in the 1,000-day window has to do with dietary diversity, where that child, the breast milk is supplemented with appropriate complementary foods, locally prepared food that can supplement breast milk, because breast milk after 6 months is not enough for that child. So that's where the 1,000-day window lap.
You talk about supplements, supplements, you know. Is it for the mother? Because I also understand the place of 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. So if you're breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months, why do you need supplements?
Sorry, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I didn't mean that supplement. I mean breast milk has to be supplemented. You know, breast milk alone is not enough for that child from 6 months. So you have to give additional milk.
After 6 months?
Yes, after 6 months.
Right.
From that 6 months to 24 months. That's where appropriate complementary feeding comes in. Complementary, not supplementary.
Complementary.
Yes.
All right. Viewers, you can be part of the show. 08112668143 is the number to call if you're a new mother or a mother and you have questions regarding your breastfeeding, or how you're breastfeeding your baby, or how your baby is responding to your breastfeeding. This is the opportunity for us to know more. Fathers, yes, you can be part of this conversation too. Let's call us and let us know what your challenges are if you're a new father and you have issues. Now let's look at mothers who have multiple babies. You've got one, twins, triplets. How can they manage? Because you've seen even one baby, some babies eat and just will keep suckling at the breast and wouldn't let go, and then you now have two, and you find the mother very weary, tired, and wouldn't know how to go on. I'll be so, you know, discouraged after even 1 month. How can this situation be managed?
Well, it is possible for a woman with multiple births to actually exclusively breastfeed a baby. One, the woman would not, when you are exclusively breastfeeding, it means breastfeeding exclusively without any medication, without except if prescribed by a medical practitioner. Those are maybe antibiotics or some other. But in a situation where the baby is okay, the child needs exclusive breastfeeding. And at such, that woman does not need to give any form of multivitamin, either in form of Abidec, in form of any form of multivitamin that is usually given, so that it will not further trigger the child to eat more and more, because breast milk has everything. It has all the antigens needed, the antibodies necessary for a child to develop. So if a woman with a multiple births wants to breastfeed now exclusively, if she doesn't give all those multivitamin, the babies will continue to suckle. She will have enough breast milk to give to the child, especially if early initiation is being practiced. If the baby is put to breast within 1 hour of delivery, that is just the magic. Once a baby is put to breast, immediately after delivery, it will send a kind of sensation to the brain to produce milk on time. It's a natural thing. Milk will start being, to be let out easily, and the quantity will be increased. The more the woman breastfeeds, the more milk produces. So if the woman is the person that times breastfeeding, like some people do, the breast production will be reducing according to the timing. So a woman with multiple births that starts early initiation of breastfeeding and does not give any multivitamin or anything, that concentrates on breastfeeding on demand day and night, those children will definitely strive.
What makes them strive? What makes them thrive? What are the benefits that mothers and the babies themselves experience? All right, we have a caller.
Hello, good morning.
Sorry, is that a father?
Hello, good morning.
All right, we have a man. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mr. Obasa.
Mr. Omota? Obasa.
Yes, I'm calling from Lagos. Yes, ma. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, ma. Sorry, yes, ma. Yeah. Sorry, I've regarded this breastfeeding of a thing. Are you with me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, if a newborn baby is being born, okay. A newborn baby is being born, and from the hospital there, they recommended some medicine to get to, for the baby to be using. What about that? Does that have any effect with this breastfeeding of a thing?
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
The hospitals to do that?
Yes, in a situation when a child has one issue or the other that needs medical attention, so children should be given their medications. It is a normal thing. That was why we said exclusive breastfeeding is given a child breast milk only without any other thing except medication that are being prescribed by the doctor. So once it is prescribed by the doctor, that child's needs, especially maybe those children that have jaundice and some other health challenges, actually, really they need medications.
All right.
So
you were talking about the benefits to the mother and the baby.
There are numerous, a lot of benefits. Like for the mother now, it helps the placenta to come out easily, so it prevents postpartum hemorrhage.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yes, my name is Obi. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Please, I just want to ask. Like me, when I gave birth,
Okay.
my breast milk was not coming out for almost like 5 days or so. So they were like, I should start giving the baby supplements. So I was like, is it okay?
Giving the baby
Supplements.
Okay.
I had to go and buy, number, SMS codes and all that.
Okay, thank
Because
you.
the breast milk was not coming out.
All right.
We have a lot of issues like that. We have a lot of people with such issues. And the fact remains that breastfeeding was not initiated on time. If it is initiated within 1 hour, it may not come out immediately, but messages will be, with the body system, messages will be sent to the brain to start preparing to produce milk. And before you know it, before some hours, it will come
But are there things that can be done before you have the baby? Because you can also prepare yourself while you're still pregnant.
There are some women with inverted nipples before they put to bed. During the antenatal clinic, they are always being helped. They have a way of pulling it out in preparation for delivery. And there are some that, when you are bathing, cleaning up naturally, you just clean the top of the nipple, just to get rid of clog any debris, any dirt there. So it will create a kind of opening. Shortly before delivery, everywhere is soft. So mere just stroking it, cleaning it like that, we create a kind of opening channel for breast milk to come out on time. So those are I don't mean using hard brushes or anything like that some women do. That
maybe it's time for you also to talk about how to take care of the breast, especially during breastfeeding.
During breastfeeding, well, there's no major thing being done but to keep personal hygiene.
Okay.
Just personal hygiene. There are some women we even had use cotton wool with spirits to clean and clean like that. It's not necessary. Just make sure you clean, bathe with clean water like that, and if you are using a breast pad like that, you change often and often, you know, so that you know breast milk, yes, so you know breast milk can easily get contaminated, so you change it often and often and just clean with water.
And that's all. All right, Doyin from Lagos says, good morning, Rumeli and Adetola and the guest. Starting strong is not negotiable. Breastfeeding is very vital for the growth of the baby. Exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months shouldn't be handled with kid gloves. Fathers should spare their wives by not competing with their babies for breast. So we're coming to the role of fathers. How can they help in a successful breastfeeding regime?
Fathers, as we look at it, they have a lot of roles, but many of them don't know. They feel breastfeeding is just for women. Fathers, on their part, apart from providing money for food and providing the food like that, they can also assist by encouraging the woman. You know, once a woman knows her husband is behind her, she is happy with what she's doing, she will be more encouraged to do it, because really, let's just be realistic, it's not easy. Those the 1,000 day window is a time to dedicate for that child. It needs a lot of dedication and encouragement. So for a father now, mere helping with the house chores, with the older children goes a long way. Aside that, even if a woman is breastfeeding, and the man just, you know, stroke the back of the woman, just like that, it will send a kind of sensation. You know, the woman will feel a kind of sensation within her, and before you know it, naturally, messages will be sent to the brain to produce more milk, and before you know it, make it
so this is no time for the man to be shouting at her, my food is not ready, you have not swept the house, you have not cleaned.
No, it's a joint thing, not even between the man and the woman this time. You know, as it is usually said that it takes a village to raise a child, not the man or the woman. It encompasses the mothers, the grandmothers, aunties, uncles, everyone.
Okay, we have a call from Mowe. What's your name?
Blessing.
All right, Blessing.
Okay, please go ahead. Okay, Blessing.
Yeah, the issue of breastfeeding. The last time I had a baby boy, for 4 days, 5 days, my breast, what I milked was not coming out, so I was bothered. Oh, they said maybe I have used some drugs. I said I did not use any drugs, but I don't know what causes it.
Did you get that?
It still boils down to preparation before childbirth. For instance, what I said, for the first 1,000 days, which is from conception up to when the child is 2 years, 24 months to be precise, the woman, it starts with the woman. What she eats during pregnancy. The woman, when she is highly hydrated, when she takes a lot of fruits and vegetables, when she takes enough carbohydrate to give her energy and all that, the woman is preparing herself, the whole body. She's preparing the baby for delivery as well as preparing herself. You know, at the 3rd trimester, this time, a woman does not eat like the normal women that are not pregnant. She takes an additional meal, which is an equivalent of like 300 kilocal of energy. So that increase, everything will work together to ensure the woman lactates on time, especially when she's well hydrated.
Okay, we have this message. This one says, good morning, I'm a new mother. I had my baby last year, December, but I'm doing a particular course in the university. I have 1 year left. I can't take my newborn to school all the time, so I drop her with my mother. Is it advisable to preserve breast milk in a feeding bottle, or I go for baby food?
It's better for the benefit of the child and the mother, for future benefit. It is better for her to express. You can easily, it's something that can be done. Breast milk can be expressed either manually or with the use of breast pump. One just needs to go to the facility to know how best to do it.
All right.
And it can be preserved.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. What's your name, please? Where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Nena and I'm calling from Yaba.
Your TV set, please. Can you turn down the volume of your television set?
Thank you.
Are you still there?
Nena.
Hello? Okay, I think we lost her. Emmanuel from Ikorodu says, in case a woman who gave birth to a baby died in delivery process, who should breastfeed the motherless baby?
In case such happens, we don't pray for it, but circumstances, some things, it happens sometimes. Anyone can breastfeed the baby, so far the person has given birth before. The grandma can breastfeed the baby. They can relactate. We call it, it's a process of relactation. The grandma, the aunt,
using medication,
or the mother, no, naturally. So far a woman has given birth before and the woman has breastfed. For instance, grandma, you know, it takes a man, it would have been very long that she breastfed last. Children, in fact, for children that their mother passed on like that, between the first to third month of delivery, children have a very high sucking reflex. We call it high sucking. The ability to suck is very, very efficient at that time. So if the woman passes on like that, and the grandma wants to relactate, it will be easier for it to come. In fact, within the first 2-3 days, that woman, as the babies continue to suck on the grandma's breast, before you know it, it will send messages. They send messages, you know, mere putting the lips on the nipple, mere for the baby to put his lips on the nipple of a woman, we always send messages. Before you know it,
it doesn't matter her age. It doesn't matter her age.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's a natural thing. From studies, it has been confirmed. Relactation can take place from aunts, from mothers, from mother-in-laws, from grandma. So far, that person has been tested.
I take
it
HIV status
some
and
NCBB questions are coming in.
We can ask
That's
them.
why you have surrogate mothers.
Who do this? So, I won't presume then the course of your work and this work you're doing, Start Strong and this awareness and sensitization process, you've met and come across these situations like this. Tell us more about what you do exactly.
I work with the State Ministry of Health. The Start Strong logo on its own, now let's start with it. The Start Strong logo now, it's a kind of strategically planned health program that we want to use to create awareness to the populace, everyone, fathers, mothers, media practitioners, health workers, uncles, everyone to be aware of breastfeeding. That breastfeeding is good. It brings about optimal development and a brighter future. So it's a kind of branding for optimal nutrition.
That's Alive and Thrive?
Yes, through Alive and Thrive. It's a collaborative effort from Alive and Thrive, Lagos State Ministry of Health, and it's a federal thing now. This Start Strong, it's a kind of branding for optimum IYCF 1,000 days. By IYCF, we mean infant and young child feeding, the best recommended infant and young child feeding practices for the first 1,000 days. And we said the 1,000 days starts from conception up to when the child is 2 months old.
From experience,
I mean 24 months.
24 months.
Sorry.
From experience, what do you think mothers are doing? You know that it's not acceptable. You know,
there are lots. There are a lot of, in terms of beliefs, in terms of practices, and all that. For instance, some mothers now feel, for instance, if they are breastfeeding and somehow they now have cause to leave the baby, maybe for a week or 2 weeks like that, they feel coming back to breastfeed that baby, it's wrong. Some of them even feel the breast milk is spoiled already, so they stop breastfeeding and just go on formula. It is very wrong. So far, a woman is still living. So far, that woman is not dead. All our cells are still living. So the breast milk cannot spoil, except if the woman is dead. So if you have cause to leave your baby for a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, you can come back and breastfeed that baby.
What if the child doesn't want it any longer?
With petting, the child, breast milk is the best food. All of them prefer it. They like it. Except if the mother does not know how to position a baby. You know, positioning. It's a fact. It's something that a lot of people are suffering from due to lack of knowledge, ignorance, and all that. So Start Strong, it's a strategically planned idea to sensitize everybody that all these things we are taking, those beliefs are wrong. So that woman can actually bring the baby back. You know, if she learns about correct positioning and attachment. There was a time we went for a monitoring like that, community monitoring, and we discovered this woman, the baby refused the breast milk, and the baby was hungry. It was a tug of war. The woman came that the baby does not like breast. I said, okay, we positioned the baby well. She was well positioned herself. The baby started breastfeeding. Wow. Even herself, she called the office, continued to thank me, said we are doing our work.
Okay, you still tell us more about some of those practices that needs to be corrected, but for now we'll take a very short break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
That first news, that first kick, that first cry, and those first moments put baby to mother's breast right away. That first yellowish milk, colostrum, has the nutrients baby needs to grow healthy, strong, and sharp. Ask your health worker to put your baby to the breast within the first hour. Start strong for a better future.
This message is from the Lagos State Government with support from Alive and Thrive and other partners.
The first 6 months of a baby's life brings that first grasp, that first smile, that first laugh. For the first 6 months, don't give water. Breast milk has everything baby needs to grow strong and sharp. For the first 6 months, give baby only breast milk, no water. Start strong for a better future.
This message is from the Lagos State Government with support from Alive and Thrive and other partners.
All right, welcome back to Open Access. Of course, we have been talking about breastfeeding with Mrs. Taiwo Fadairo, who is the Assistant State Nutrition Officer of the Lagos State Ministry of Health. And she's been telling us how to stay strong, start strong, alive, and thrive. Now, I have a very important question from Mr. Remuiwa in Ikorodu. He says, please, concerning the breastfeeding, is it proper for a man to suck a nursing mother?
Well, a lot of people have been asking that question, and the answer we always give to these men is to please hold on. Hold on, it's time bound. Yes, hold on, it's time bound. Just those 2 years.
Well, the best milk is not good for them.
They've taken theirs in their own time, so they should allow the baby to benefit ease. No interruption, no disturbance, please.
For 6 months.
Please. For the first 2 years. 2 years. Because when you are breastfeeding should take place from exclusively from 0 to 6 months. Then from 6 months to 24 months, you add complementary feeding with continuation of breastfeeding up to 2 years or beyond. When we say 2 years, a lot of us go, I breastfed my third baby for 2 years. I had a lot of names, people were calling me, but I just wanted to know what will happen.
But for the women, 5 days, who are not able to lactate, and this man is asking, can they help? You're saying the more the breast is suckled upon, the more it will produce.
If
can the man
help? I said from the onset now, I said once babies have a very stronger sucking reflex, especially within the first 3 months of delivery. So men, are they within the first 3 months of delivery? Even if they suck, they can't do it as much as a baby.
Okay.
This one says, good morning, watching from PH, that's Port Harcourt. Your program has been very enlightening. I want to know what food enhances breast milk.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, before I go to that, men can help in a way. If this help, they can help, especially women with inverted nipple. Before she delivers, they can, when they help to suck the nipple, it comes out. Then to the question, there's no particular food that is breast milk production. what a woman needs to do is to eat well to satisfy her health and that of a baby. That's why when you see this, sorry to use that word, mad women outside, when they breastfeed their children, you see their children strong, big, healthy. Sometimes they are healthier, bigger than our own children, because what they give only is breast, and their own breast, the quality of their breast milk and those of ours at home are the same everywhere. So feeding does not really determine the quality of breast milk. The only thing it does is to help you produce more when you initiate it on time.
But there are things that they shouldn't eat while breastfeeding. Or medication.
They should, at that period, it is only the medication that is prescribed by a doctor. But in a situation when the woman is okay, the woman just needs to nourish her body through feeding. She takes enough carbohydrate for energy. She takes enough protein for bodybuilding. She takes a lot of fruits and vegetables. Takes a lot of fruits and vegetables so that she can be hydrated, so that she won't grow lean and all that. So she takes a lot of juice like that. But there are some of them that you curtail sugary things. You don't take too much of sugary things under normal circumstances. Even when we are not lactating, we are not supposed to take too much of sugary things.
All right, we have to go, but I think this one is an important question for you to answer briefly, please, madam. Good program. Please, can you provide information on breastfeeding on mothers who are HIV infected in context of PMTCT?
In the context of HIV, now, if a woman is HIV positive, she's supposed to breastfeed exclusively. Before, it used to be breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. After that, you can just place the baby on other this thing. But this time around, when she breastfeeds exclusively, she has to start taking her antiretroviral drugs. Yes, she has to start taking it. So it now depends on you if you want to breastfeed exclusively with your antiretroviral drug, or you don't want to breastfeed at all.
So there's no fear of transmission?
No, there's no. Except if you now decide to breastfeed and at the same time chip in complementary feeding. But breastfeeding exclusively will help the mother.
Okay then, thank you so much. You provided a whole lot of information, and I'm sure our viewers have gained a lot from that. And we have been speaking with Taiwo Fadairo, who's the Assistant State Nutrition Officer from the Lagos State Ministry of Health. Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay then, we'll
grateful.
take a very short break, and of course Sports Flash will be here with Daily Oshodi Glover.